Hello everyone, welcome into another tactics video here on FIFA 23. We've got another one for you today, and this is Eddie Howe's Newcastle tactics. Lots of requests in for this from you guys in the comment section so far, so today we are going to finally cover it. I'm Ash or Brahma18, whichever you prefer, and if you're new to the channel, welcome along. On here we do all things FIFA and FM, so please be sure to hit the subscribe button. Quick notice also, before we do get into the 4-3-3 formation, I'll show you the formations and position changes. I just wanted to quickly say, go and check out my Patreon. On there you can get access to lots of great perks and rewards, including my tactics package. If you want to see a deep dive rankings, ratings on this tactic, as well as all the other tactics I'll cover on the channel, then you can find that on my Patreon, as well as early access to videos, exclusive tactics videos that we don't cover on the channel, Discord server access, and a whole lot more. Also check out my gaming podcast, currently ongoing, doing all sorts of episodes on all sorts of things, video games, along with me and my pal who is also called Ash, so please do go and check that out as well. Got a lot of series on the channel, Chelsea and Roma, FIFA, career mode and FM series respectively, so please have a look at them as well. And finally, with all of those housekeeping notes done, let's get into the system. So as we were saying, it is a 4-3-3 tactic. And what you're going to be looking for is the 4-3-3 holding one, that is with the one defensive midfielder and then the two flat central midfielders. Now there's only one position change that you are going to need for this, and that is the right back. You want to change him to right wing back with Kieran Trippier. What that's going to do is going to get him further forward and further wide as well. He likes to compensate for when Almiron cuts inside. Obviously he is at his best when he is getting forward, he's on the ball, and they're getting him into those positions where he can, you know, create deliveries, create chances, perform those crosses and deliveries. So that's the best way to get the best out of him, and it's the only position change you will need. What I will say is, you know, I've never found a defence that is less suited to its tactic than this one right here. You know, basically don't play this system with Newcastle or sign new defenders if you are doing a Newcastle career mode, because they are so slow. It is horrendous, and you will see that in the gameplay down below. Not a reflection of the tactic, as it is a reflection of just this horrendous defence in FIFA. You just can't get away with playing such slow defenders, so please do bear that in mind. So let's talk about the tactics then. We've got some slight tweaks for a defensive game plan as well, but starting off with the balance system. Defensive style, you want constant pressure. They're very good with the press, something that is completely different, just a complete contrast to how it was under Steve Bruce. And it's something that has developed since Eddie Howe has been here from last season to now. They're really starting to get into grips with that. And you'll see that the press is very much more effective and quite relentless as well, which is why we're looking at constant pressure in this case. The whip is on 30. It's going to be around about balanced. And I want to kind of supplement that press as best as they can by really getting players out wide if and when they need to. You don't want to leave too many gaps, but you will see that kind of happen because of the nature of constant pressure and that balanced 30 width as well with regards to the gameplay, so do bear that one in mind. The depth is on 60, giving you a mid block, as I spoke about with the defenders. Very slow, even when it is a mid block, still extremely slow, so do bear that in mind. Remember that you've got a case in Newcastle where they don't need to push the entire block all the way up the field. They like to engage when it does kind of hit the defenders, and with that you can still really kind of get it going even with that mid block. A little bit higher in terms of 60, so we just push that up a little bit as well. Offensively, we've got slow build up, allowing you to be able to play through the thirds, and on goalkeeper restarts you can get your defenders dropping off into the 18-yard box and showing for the ball, allowing for that progression up the pitch. And then chance creation is forward runs as well. Remember, constant pressure and forward runs twin together is a nightmare for stamina, as you will notice in the gameplay as well. So that's something you've got to take into account. Very rarely do we do these, but if you want to recreate the tactic as accurately as we can, then we have to pair these together. And this is just a great way to try and get particularly the runners of the front three, Almiron, Wilson, Isak or Sam Maximan, lots of pace and movement in between them. That's how you're going to get the best out of them, as well as the central midfielders getting further forward as well. It does a good job of getting those midfielders running forward and contributing to the attacking phase of play. With the width to 70, wide, stretching out that shape as much as possible. They're very wide. There's a lot of space in between each, I guess, vertical block, each vertical position, the right side, the centre, the left side. And what this is doing is it's enabling the space, creating that space, should I say, for those runners that we've just spoken about, for the midfielders, Joel Linton, Willock, etc., to go into, for the likes of St. Maximan, Wilson, Almiron, etc., to exploit. And that's what they're looking to do. They really want to stretch the play, even with the central midfielders. They want them creating a lot of space in each other, and it allows a bit more versatility in terms of the method in which that they can attack. Players in the box is on 8, giving you 4 players in the box. You're always finding the front 3 getting into the box, as well as one of the central midfielders as well. Sometimes it will be 2, sometimes, but often you like to see that that extra central midfielder is going to act as like an advanced pivot, basically, and he'll kind of circle around the 18-yard box and just wait for the ball to kind of fall outside if and when he is needed for that. And finally, with corners and free kicks, both of these are on 4, so I can get a lot of men forward. One thing they are good at is they're quite a tall team, and as a result, in those set-piece situations, they can really create a lot, particularly with the likes of Kieran Trippier, who is obviously such a good dead ball specialist. So on to the instructions next, starting off with Nick Pope in goal. We've got him on comes to crosses. Make sure you've got this on pretty much all of your keepers, and in the majority of your tactics, it definitely just helps out a little bit more, better than not having it on. Try to relieve pressure off you in those crossing situations, and also sweeper keeper as well, something that they're still trying to kind of coax him into. He's getting better at it for sure. They're trying to develop him, trying to kind of nurture him into that more aggressive style role, and he can definitely do it. So we do have this on sweeper keeper as well, and you're going to need it with these slow defenders, might I say. With the 2 centre-backs, 2 changes. Both of them are on conservative interceptions. Now, what we're looking to do here is try and replicate the fact that, despite the fact that they play a fairly high block, the defenders, despite their lack of pace, don't really get exposed too often. And what this is trying to do is trying to get them essentially just facing their own goal when the opposition get the ball, so that they're ready to get running back towards their own goal, basically. You also don't want them stepping out too much and leaving too much space. That is an issue that you'll find with constant pressure and those forward runs as well, even with these 2 on conservative interceptions. Now with Dan Burn, we have him on run type inverted and attacking runs balance. Occasionally he'll join the attack. In fact, he'll often join the attack, but I actually switched this to balanced because I wanted to recreate the fact that you're looking for that little bit of balance between St. Maximan, who is staying wide, Trippier, who's at right wing back, he's getting forward. You want him to kind of help out in a more inverted sense, similar to what we're seeing a lot of the top teams do these days. You know, the likes of Man City, etc. We recently covered Burnley on Patreon. They're doing the same thing as well with their fullbacks. And that's what we're trying to recreate here. He does often support the attack, and he sometimes overlaps as well, but we're trying to kind of adapt it a little bit so that he's got better balance. With Trippier on the other side, remember he's a right wing back. We've got him on during the attack and also overlap as well. Now that's very, very obvious for his role. We know what he's going to do. He's going to create that width, going to be on the touchline, and he's going to contribute to the attacking phase of play as much as he possibly can. With Gimaresh in centre defensive midfield, then first things first, we've got him on cut passing lanes with defensive behaviour. And something that's very important, and it's really the most effective defensive behaviour that you are going to find in FIFA. You know, man mark just doesn't really work. Attacking support is stay back while attacking. Now, he does contribute to attacking phases sometimes. What you'll find is, though, often it's when he has the ball at his feet, and what he'll do is he'll pick up the ball and he'll drive with it. He'll carry it forward. You know, that's how he scored quite a couple of his goals since he's joined Newcastle. And that's what we're looking for here. So generally, he's going to act as that pivot where possession can kind of rest on him and he recycles attacks and they can get him going again. But occasionally, he's going to drive forward and you're looking to just manually do that when you do have possession with him. Defensive position is cover centre. The 2 central midfielders ahead of him are the ones who are going to be getting dragged out. With him, you want him, again, as that kind of level of protection for the 2 centre-backs, manning that central area so you don't get exposed with the gaps that are being created as a result. And then position freedom is deep line playmaker. This is one of the ways we're going to allow you to kind of play out from the back more effectively. He's going to drift from side to side, covering really a vast amount of the width of the pitch. And with this in mind, it's then going to allow him to basically play the role of that filter in between the defence and then the midfield, helping you to progress it forward in that manner. So with the 2 central midfielders then, starting off with Joe Willock, we've got 2 slightly differing roles here. With Willock in this case, his attacking support is unbalanced. And it's changed a little bit with Joel Linton that we'll talk about very, very shortly. His support on crosses is getting to the box for the cross. And then positioning freedom is stick to position, whilst the defensive position, as we've just spoken about with Guimaraes here, is cover wing. Now, it is a slight difference with Joel Linton on the other side. As you can see here, his attacking support is on get forward. He's the one who is going to be looking to support the strikers even more, support the attackers, etc., and getting him into more goal scoring positions. Again, part of this is the personnel. As a converted striker, he's going to have that natural inclination to be getting forward into those real attacking areas a whole lot more. So they're kind of playing into this a little bit, and that's what you're really seeing. So he's looking to really support St. Maximin. But remember, you've also got the fact that Dan Burn is only on balanced attack here, so they need that little bit of extra support for St. Maximin on that side. So as a result, you've got Joel Linton as left central midfielder getting forward. Right, so with regards to the two wingers, next off, they both have the same instructions. To start off, they're both on comeback on defence. I did toy with the idea of having St. Maximin on balanced, as occasionally they would look to kind of keep him forward a little bit more, because he's in a better position to then instigate those counter-attacks and drive forward with that incredible pace he has. However, generally he is actually going to track back, so it wasn't actually worth justifying changing this role. His chance creation is on stay wide as he looks to stretch the pitch, get onto the touchline. They want to get him in as much space as possible, and then his support runs naturally getting behind as he looks to utilise that pace to his advantage. Support on crosses is on getting to the box with the cross as well. And as I mentioned with Almiron over on this other side, it's almost completely the same except for chance creation, in which Almiron is actually on cut inside. This is going to enable him to angle his runs, and what that's going to do is it's going to then create the space for Trippier, who is overlapping. So as you can see, it's all very much balanced. St. Maximin staying wild whilst Dan Burn is on inverted, and he's the one creating that width. And then on the other side, Almiron cut inside, angling his runs, and Trippier then overlapping and utilising that space to his advantage. Finally, with Callum Wilson, and remember, this does stay the same regardless of whether it's Isak or Callum Wilson. I've not noticed many differences in terms of the roles. Occasional the kind of personnel difference. For example, Isak likes to kind of pick up the ball more and dribble with it, drive with it. However, Wilson generally kind of prefers to go with the quick layoffs and then looking to kind of utilise his pace and running behind and get on the end of those through balls. However, the instructions very much stay the same. Now, the support runs is on balanced width. The attacking runs is on getting behind, again looking to exploit that pace and play on the last man. And then defence support is stay forward as he acts as that out ball and allows you to kind of get the ball forward to him and he can hold it up and you can go on from there. Right then, I mentioned at the start of the video, we do have some slight tweaks to a defensive system. Now, they've not gone with this much. I've really noticed it in games, say, for example, against Man City when they were leading. They very much go a bit more reserved, as is kind of the natural progression, really. You just would, wouldn't you? When they were like 3-1 ahead against Man City, for example. We'll see this more in play throughout the season as they're playing more and more of the kind of top teams and see where this gets them. So it's really only kind of tweaked to the defensive shape, if anything. So this time, defensive style goes from constant pressure to press after possession loss. They become a little bit less willing to kind of constantly look to press and get in the faces of the opposition. So this time, they're only working to regain the ball for a few seconds after they do lose possession in the first place. The width is on 20. Again, that's making it more compact, more narrow, cutting out that space in the central areas of the pitch. This time, obviously, with it only being a reduced press in this case, then what you're looking for is you don't need to supplement that with the 30 width and beyond. So then it goes down to 20, and then the depth also drops fairly substantially to 40 from 60. Again, a 20 drop is quite substantial. And again, it's just a case of they really look to pin themselves back a little bit more. It doesn't become all-out defensive, but you definitely see a switch in them, particularly in that game against Man City in specific. Other than that, there aren't really many changes. As I say, it's only little tweaks, particularly to the defensive shape. You're not looking to tweak too much to the attacking players. You still want the likes of St. Maximin, Wilson, Almiron, etc. These attacking players making those forward runs and giving you that impetus on the counter attack. So that is what you're looking to do there. So with that in mind, it is just about time to round it off. If you've got any questions about the tactic, please do let me know. You want to see how it ranks amongst all of my other tactics, then you can do so on my Patreon. Please do go and check it out. with access to the FIFA 23 tactics package. I think you guys will really enjoy it. Don't forget to check out my Chelsea career mode series, a realistic series that is currently ongoing, and also my AS Roma Football Manager 2023 series. Really enjoying that one, so please do go and give it a look. Don't forget to check out my gaming podcast. All the links to that are down below. Lots of great topics on there. Ring the bell so you get notifications every time I upload. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and drop a like on the video to let me know that you're enjoying it and you want to see more. With that being said, we're going to finish it there. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you soon.
Goal for Everton, number 11, Damari Gray. Everton, number 11, Damari Gray. Goal for Everton, number 10, Anthony Gordon. Can Andrew Vance, that's Andrew Vance, please meet your wife at the steps of the main stand? Thank you. Substitution for Everton. Coming off the pitch, number 17, Alex Iwobi. To be replaced by number 26, Tom Davis. captain, number 11, Demarai Gray.